Well, there's just this. Whatever that seems to be happening. Uh, Sitting on the chair, waiting, happening, thinking, happening, trying to get what is being spoken or what is being spoken happening, looking, happening, wondering, bodily sensations. Everything is this already, no matter what shape or form it may appear to be. Even when there is a thinking that this is going somewhere, trying to get this, not getting it, talking happening, listening happening, everything is this already. There is already no one who's talking right now. There's already no one who's listening. There's just what seems to be happening. And this is already everything. There is no dividing line. There's no division. Even what appears to be a thought of separation is just what is wholeness appearing as a thought of separation. A thought of separation is not an evidence that there's a real separation. There's just this appearing as that. There's already no one to fall away. There's already no one to collapse, to disappear. There's just this, which is already everything, which is already whole and complete. There's really nothing to get. There's really nothing to fix. There's really nothing to find. Because there is already no real separate finder to find anything. There's just this. And this, what is, isn't a thing that can be pointed at. And there is already no one to point to anything. There's just this. What appears to be a pointing, the pointer and what is being pointed at is just this already. So there's just this. There's already no me who's looking for this. There's already no man or woman here who's in the meeting. There's already no time. There is no yesterday. There is no today. There is no tomorrow. It's just simply this. And the recognition that there's just this, there is no separate self, there's no separation, doesn't belong to anyone. No one can recognize that there's just this. And this right here didn't recognize anything. Recognition doesn't belong to what seems to be a separate self, because there is no separate self. It can only be just what is this already, recognizing that it has never been a separate self. It has never been anything separate or any entity. So this does is not talking to anyone right now. It is just talking. And there might seem to be somebody who's listening, but there's no real separate somebody. It's just this appearing as somebody who's listening. So there's nothing to fall away. There's nothing to collapse. Yet what seems to be an experience of separation may seem to fall away. The experience of separation, there is no one behind it. It's just an experience. There is no real experiencer who's experiencing separation. It's just already what is this appearing as an experience of separation. So it's already impersonal. It's not personal. So what seems to be a sufferer of just what's happening, it's simply a thought. It's simply a thought construct, which is already everything, wholeness, totality appearing as a thought. There's no real separate sufferer. It's all imagined by no one. It's just a dream. The you who feels separate from everything, looking for this, is just a dream appearing in this. It's just a dream without a dreamer. There's no one who's actually dreaming. And when the dream ends, it is always recognized that there wasn't anyone who was dreaming. The sin that is just this. There's only ever this. There wasn't anything that was separate from this. There wasn't any woman or man who was looking for this. It was just this. So even in the midst of searching, there's no one who's searching. Even in the midst of looking, there's no one who's looking. In the midst of meditation, asking a question, trying, there's no one there already. There's just this. There's just everything. No separation. Nowhere to get to. Nothing to fix. Nothing to achieve. And nobody to achieve anything already. Somebody who is on the journey is just a dream. There's nobody there. There's no real somebody who's dreaming. I would say that's just an empty appearance. I'm the body thought. It's just already that which is being longed for appearing as a thought that seems to say, I am this body. I was born one day. That thought is not separate from this. It's just this expressing as that or appearing as that. All is this already, no matter what shape or form it may appear to be. It's just totality. It's just everything. There's no separation. Movement may happen, movement may be seen, but it is also seen that there's nothing happening. There's nothing really happening. They're just movements, bodies moving around, birds flying. Everything is empty. There may be a crowd of people moving around, going to work, some coming back from work, some going to their businesses, but those bodies are empty. There's no one there already. There may be birds flying in the air, but you know, there's just emptiness appearing as birds flying. This as well, what is everything, which is already everything, may appear to focus on the specific objects or specific apparent objects, then it may seem as if there are real people who are moving, or George is going that side, Mary is going that side. But also it's just an expression of this, of wholeness already. There's no one who's doing that already. Yet it can also be seen that there's no Mary, there's no George, there are no people. There's simply just this, which is already whole and complete, which doesn't need any fixing, doesn't need any correction. Yet fixing and correction may seem to happen, in the story, in the dream, trying to get it, not getting it, losing hope, finding hope, being angry, frustrated. But that too is already empty. It's not being done by anybody. It's just this also expressing is that. So there is already no seeker here. There is already no real separate seeker who's seeking for this. There's just this already. This is already whole and complete. This isn't a journey already. There's no journey. There's nowhere to get to. And there's nobody separate from this to get to anywhere. There are no steps. the me can never really get this because there's no me. There's just this. What appears to be a separate self is already this. So there's no real separate self to fall away. And this right here isn't trying to convince anybody. There may be a thinking that seems to arise in this vastness that seems to say, "Oh, I can see that Nkosi is trying to really convince," but it's just this already. That's just what is whole, which is whole and complete. Appearing as that there's nobody here to do anything, to say anything, to ask anything, to get anything, to lose anything. That's just simply what's happening. Just this. So if there are any questions or any sharing that may seem to arise in this, then yeah, it's just what's happening.
Well, I was going to say something about my friend who I've been chatting with about spiritual concerns. She's planning to end her life, and I feel sort of I feel like I've let her down because I don't think that's the answer for her. But then when I listen to what you have to say, Nkosi, sort of, I don't know, sort of doesn't matter. I'd like to be able to do something to change it so that she doesn't want to end her life. She's younger, much younger than me. And I don't, in the story, I don't think ending your life, I don't think that's something she needs to do, but that's none of my business, really. It's just what's happening, isn't it?
Yeah, it is just what's happening. and and it may come up there that you can maybe talk to her, trying to convince her in any way, but it's just what's happening. Anything may arise. If it doesn't come up, that you should do anything about it, it doesn't come up. You know.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I hear when you had that lovely introduction. That's what I hear from you. It's just doesn't matter. I can do or I can't do. Either way, it's fine. Yeah. It's pretty, I mean, it's pretty, it's like Amor says about life is you never know what's going to happen. You don't expect that your best friend, well, that one of your dear friends is wanting to end their life. I never would have thought that would happen to me. But how much more serious does it get? But can you talk a little bit about suicide, and is there anything to say? Probably nothing to say.
Yeah, uh, I'm gonna say as it is seen here, you know, because here this doesn't see the other, you know, it sees itself as everything. There's just life. There's nobody who's living life. There's nobody who's possessing life, you know. There's just life. So when the body collapses, it is always recognized that life recognizes itself that it has never been anything else. It has always been life. So there's nobody to die already because nobody's living. Death and birth is just a dream. It's just a story. So when the body drops, life recognizes itself that it has never been the body. And it is also recognized that it was just a dream. Somebody being separate from everything was just a dream. There can't be anyone separate from life because there's simply just life, expressing as everything. So life is not a man or a woman. Life is not a human being. It's just life. Life is eternal. Life has no birth and death. It's just simply life. So the body being obliterated, being burned by fire, life is untouchable. Life is unshakable. Life is beyond birth and death. So that's what I can say.
Thank you.
I can just share with you that there are times in my life I thought I would take my life as well. And I would tell people, and it never ever happened. And it didn't even really happen that I had a great plan. And on the other hand, I've been very close to people, men and women, who have lost their sons and daughters to suicide. And they indicated their sons and daughters never ever talked about it. They just did it. I thought that was really interesting that now you have somebody that's talking about it, whatever that means. For me, it was a ploy to get someone to feel sorry for myself. I felt sorry for myself. My life wasn't going. Maybe they'll do something. I can just share my experience, what has happened for me and what I've seen.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Faith, and thank you, Alice, for sharing that too. Yeah, life is eternal, you know. There is really nobody who can actually commit suicide. In the same way that there is nobody here who's even listening to what is being spoken. Yet something might be done, but there may seem to be somebody trying to help that one in the dream not to do that as well. This doesn't suggest that there shouldn't be anything done. You know, there may seem to anything may arise. Anything may arise here. You know, somebody being stepped to that. There may seem to be action taken to maybe correct that. That's just what's happening.
Yeah, there's a freedom for doing something or not doing something. Just freedom.
Yeah, everything is empty. Everything is empty. The doing, not doing is already empty. The movement itself, it is always seen that it's not being done by anybody. It's just movement that is freely happening. Talking, going to the mall, going to the loo, playing soccer, eating chips, having a picnic, you know, everything is just freely happening. Everything is empty. And there's no wrong or right. There's already no doer of anything here. Even the experience of separation is already empty. There's no one behind it. That as well may seem to stop. And there can also be a recognition that there's just this. There's never been anything else. Everything else was just a story. Being a woman who's talking was just a dream appearing in this. So in the midst of searching, of looking, there's already no woman or man who's doing that. There's just this. There's already nowhere to really get to. There's no journey. Being on the way is just wholeness, this totality appearing as that. It may even say, I feel that I'm on the way. I'm losing some things are starting to fall away. That's just that which can never really fall away, saying that. It's just everything already. What is being longed for is already just simply this. It can never be found, can never be lost. It can never be gotten because it's everything. It's just this. It's nothing. It's not a thing. Can never really be pointed at because it's not a thing. Can never be grasped. It's already wordless, yet it's appearing as words. There are no words already. This doesn't require words to be what it is. It just is with or without words. It's already here. It's already the case. There's nobody to find it. There's nobody to lose it. There's just it. It doesn't have any gender, doesn't have any agenda. Yet gender and agenda may seem to appear in it. It's just an appearance. It's nothing. It's nothing special. And this is already shameless. There's no shame here. It doesn't mind. There's no suppression of anything already. Yet suppression may seem to appear, but it's just an empty appearance. It's just a dream. There's already nobody to suppress anything. This, what is, which is already whole and complete, may say anything, may do anything, may ask anything, may give an answer. It's here it is always seen that when somebody is asking a question, it's just wholeness asking a question. So there's no real question and there's no real answer. There's no real separate somebody who's talking to anybody. There's just simply this. This is already everything. There is no separation. Even what appears to be a separation or a thought of separation, it's just that which is not a separation, appearing as that, or which is not separate, appearing as separation. So these bodies are empty. There's nobody there. There's no one inside the body already. They can be um, something, a voice talking, saying, "Oh, but I'm here." That is already empty. It's not an evidence. It's not an evidence that there's somebody there. It's just an empty voice talking. I'm here. I'm a woman. I'm listening to you. I know there's no one there. It's just a voice, an empty voice. It's just this, if I may say. You can unmute, Alice.
Because I thought I was unmuted, is that I think when I have said that to someone, I'm just really calling for a need for attention somehow. And I know for me, what seems to work is for people calling and seemingly sounding like they care. I know that's all in the egoic world or whatever, but at the same time, I know you and I have counseled, you and I have spent time a lot of time together. And you sensed when I was feeling kind of down, never suicidal, but just feeling bad about something or whatever. And then a few days later, you text me, how are you doing? And that meant so much to me. It was like, that's what I needed to hear. So isn't there something, I think in this world, what comes up to me is just not to total, I mean, there is nothing here, but still, in a way, there are things. Well, I feel that when I know my friend is feeling bad, I will always call and say, how are you doing, in a day or two or whatever length of time seems right for me. And I will keep doing that. And that seems to help a lot, just as it helps me. I don't know if that means anything, and maybe that's just a bunch of shit, but I thought I'd say it.
Yeah, sorry, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Everything is this already. You trying to help a friend, checking out on somebody, family member. It's beautiful. It's okay. There's no wrong or right. It's just what's happening. Anything may arise here. Anything may arise, anything may happen, but everything is empty already. There are no real people, and there's no wrong or right. There's just this expressing. There's somebody who's trying to help a friend. The story is okay. This doesn't try to get rid of the story. This doesn't suggest that we shouldn't talk about the story. The story is an expression of this. This doesn't mind itself. Doesn't mind the story. Story is beautiful.
Okay, then I'm
It's
going to
already
talk.
okay,
Oh,
sorry, can
sorry.
go ahead, Faith? Yeah.
I was just going to say, so that gives me permission to talk about the story that I've got in my head. I was chatting with my granddaughter, my teenage granddaughter, and she said, she talked about, I think about sort of what you call an out of body experience when she smokes pot. I think she has the experience of being, maybe of looking down on herself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so where does that fit into anything? Does everybody have that? I don't smoke pot, but like, does everybody have that? Is that common to have that sort of experience where you feel like you're looking down on yourself, you're separated from yourself? Oh, Don, you're smiling. Maybe you know the answer.
Why don't you ask everybody if they've ever had it right here? Otherwise, we're leaving it in kind of a hypothetical question.
Well, maybe
Yeah,
Jason's. Yeah, go on.
the last time I don't smoke it very often. It's not something I really do nowadays, but when I did, I felt like I was floating to the ceiling. I
Oh,
had that
good.
sensation the last time. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, but that's also just this, right? That's just
Yeah,
this
yeah,
appearing as a separate individual me, smoking
yeah,
pot, laying in bed, floating to the ceiling.
yeah, yeah. That's just an experience in this whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, this
yeah.
this can appear as any dynamic story, really, right? I mean,
Mm.
like I drive trucks around the United States, and I decided to stop and get a dog. And I have a
Yeah.
dog in here with me for
Oh,
protection because it can get a little dangerous out here. And he learned how to honk the horn. So when I get out
oh,
of the truck to work, he honks the horn, and then I yell at him, you know. But it's just another. It's just this appearing as what appears to be another story.
mm,
You know, there's
mm.
not a separate individual me and a separate individual dog, and It's just whatever it's just this arising as that, you know? So it's the same thing with like the pot. It just is what it is. If you smoke
Yeah.
pot and you sit and you meditate, or you smoke pot and you get anxious and start screaming and you're scared that the demons are going to get you, it's just equally this. Perfect, just how it is. It's perfectly imperfect.
It,
Yeah.
it doesn't give you any motivation to find out about this message that we discuss. Yeah? No?
Are you talking to me still? I'm sorry.
Asking you, or I'm asking Casey, do you think that experience might initiate some interest in what we discuss here?
Well, there's already nobody separate having any
Yeah.
experience. So whether or not it appears to or not, there's already nobody sitting here learning from Nkosi. There's already
Yeah.
nobody here teaching anybody anything. It just
Yeah.
appears to be that, but there's nothing to learn. There's nobody to learn anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Amu.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah, as well, when there was an intense seeking here that seemed to happen, there used to be so-called out of the body experiences happening here.
Okay.
Flying, going to New York, going to the moon,
Mm.
coming back, all sorts of experiences. Yeah, used to happen. Some being in the spaceship, being a short dwarf, being going to some planets, anything may, used to happen here. Yeah, so anything may arise. Anything may arise.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. You're welcome. There's just no separation. There's just no separation. Out of the body experience, is this too. And there's no real somebody who can be out of the body. Because there's nobody in the body already. I can say the body is appearing in this as well.
I know you've said this many times in Nkosi, but I don't think I really heard it until last week when I actually heard another speaker say it. Someone was asking him about getting rid of the ego. I mean, and and he said, well, there is no ego to get rid of, and you said that, and it just really fell in for me, even though I still try to get rid of it. But I had studied A Course in Miracles for many years, and I perhaps misread it, but for me, that there was a lot about what I perceived as getting rid of the ego. So I was in constant trying to get rid of it. But to really understand it now, the way you present it, it never was. And there is no separation. So even believing in that, you're just kind of struggling and trying to become a better person. And it just really resonated with me. It's funny how I can hear this for months and months, and then suddenly something happens that it seems to fall in a little more clearly. And I'm grateful.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thanks for sharing. Beautiful.
So I've had this notion when I die, um, since there is no body, since none of the other stuff actually exists, concepts and ego, everything doesn't exist. So there's when that I physically die, I will basically be in heaven because all these things are basically stopping me from being there right now. I mean, nothing really stops me, but I imagine that they stop me. Maybe that's better put. Um, so this, so the energy that I have, that also just really never was. So there would just be love, I guess.
Yeah, I would say you're already in heaven, dreaming that you're not in heaven,
Oh, yes.
apparently.
Yes, apparently. Yes, I hear you. Thank you.
Yes. It's just a
There's
dream.
already nobody. I'm sorry, Nkosi.
Okay.
I was gonna say there's already nobody alive to die. Nobody's gonna die. There appears to be a somebody that was born, lived out a life, gonna die, maybe in a car crash, maybe a heart attack. It's just all a story, apparently. It's just this. There's nothing to it. I mean, it's not even, I would say it's not even, you don't even become love because there's nobody to become love. There's already nobody there. Who dies?
Yeah.
It's like if you're dreaming at night and you get hit by a car and you die in the dream. Who died?
Yeah, death and birth is just a story. Yeah. Thanks for sharing, Amo. Death and birth is just a story. It's just a dream. There's really nobody to die because there's no one who's living already. There's simply just this, expressing as somebody, expressing as somebody who's a woman or a man, you know. It's not personal already. It's already impersonal. There's already not two. There's already no separation. There's simply just this. There's nobody inside the body who's looking from behind those eyes. There can be a knowledge in the memory that I'm this body, saying I'm this body, I'm a woman, I'm a man, I was born one day, so I'm here now, sitting on the chair, listening to Nkosi. There's just the knowledge. Just the knowledge and the memory, which is also this, just this. It is empty. It's already empty. There's nothing there. There's nobody there.
So when you say it's all empty already and there's nobody there, there seems to be that I either believe that or don't believe that. Oh God, how do I say this? Oh, let me get back to my first thing. Okay, I'm now totally confused, so that's good. I usually listen to you to get something, to get what you're saying, or at least believe it and then try it out. But I like where I'm at the moment, because I can say, I don't believe what you're saying. And I also don't believe what you're saying. I'm hearing words, and they're very interesting to me, for sure. But I like God because I do not believe what you're saying. I don't disbelieve it, but I don't believe it. I just, belief gets in the way, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's nobody to do anything. There's nobody to believe. You can never really believe this. This is beyond belief. Yet it's appearing as somebody saying, I don't believe you. That which is saying, I don't believe you, is exactly this, is already just this. So there's nobody to believe or not believe. So this doesn't require a belief. It just is.
I guess what I'm
Belief.
saying then, oh, go ahead, sorry. I guess what I'm saying then is that I hear what you say, sort of. I probably don't have any idea of what you're talking about, but I keep listening. Oh, sorry, I forgot. So there's me not believing is just this already. When you say this already, it's just this already. How do you say it?
Yeah,
I don't believe that. Go ahead.
Yeah, there's already no you. It's just this already. Wholeness, saying that already. That which is whole and complete.
Right now, when you say that, and I love it, and it resonates here, I mean, it was said, it was said, however, but like, so what? I mean, that doesn't mean that that is true. It was said, it's all this, or I don't believe this, or I do believe this. That's all said. And you could say that it was said, but then when you say it's all this, I get a little lost.
That's this too.
Well, and when you say that, it's like, well, unless what you're saying is that that's what was just said, that even when you say it's all this, then that's this too, right? That's this too, that's this too, that's this too, going backwards. that's this too, that's this too, but somewhere it had to be, it had to start somewhere. That's this too.
Yeah,
Well, that's
there's
also just
nobody saying
true.
it. Okay, then
Okay.
go ahead, Amo. Yes.
Yeah.
No. I said that's also just this too. Yeah, I mean, you could believe that Jesus is God and go to church and read the Bible, and that's just equally as much this as sitting on this Zoom. I mean, or you could go and kill somebody and go to prison for life, and that's also just as equally this. I mean, there's, recently, here's another story. I had to watch my father-in-law die suddenly, and because nobody was born, nobody died. It's all just a story, right? But going into his house now without him there, it carries on, but it's empty. There's just an emptiness where he appeared to have stood at one point, and that's what he always was. There's the arguments, the debates, the beliefs. When you watch somebody take their last breath, which is just the story of it, it's very apparent what this actually is.
Yeah.
You just watch it all just apparently fade away. But there never was. It just appeared to come and then it goes. But nothing ever came and went. It's just this appearing as somebody who had hopes, dreams, aspirations, fears, lived a life, had children, loved people. And then all that just appears to go away. What was that? Was it a special somebody who lived out a life and this all really happened? Or was this just, I don't like the word illusion, but was it basically just this living out this life, apparently, right? Nobody ever lived out a life.
What?
God.
No, why not though? I it's like
Why not? Why?
it's like maybe it was. So my aunt just passed this morning, died. She's like 96. So she, but so as you're saying that, I'm saying, was she here for 96 years?
But if you
And
choose to believe that she was here for 96 years, then that's fine. There's already nobody believing anything. Anything may arise. You could believe anything you want.
yeah, but also maybe she was, or anybody was alive, had a life, and is now, there's no more life there in that form. And so I say that's as valid as it's all just this seems to always like make something not real here. And I just more into that. It's that if it's all this, but that this is very real. I mean, extremely real to the point, so real, all this, just this, the emptiness is so real that it manifests as my aunt or whomever. And that is not just an illusion or even a manifestation or those kinds of words. It is this. And this does live.
Yeah, Don, I would say that there's nothing to figure out. And the appearance of somebody trying to figure something out is just equally what apparently is. It's just, I may choose to wake up tomorrow and go to the mosque and pray with the Muslims. That's just is. It's just is. It's just this. It is what it is, right? I mean, is there somebody doing that? I mean, if you believe there is, then that's just equally this. If you don't believe there is, I mean, there's nobody doing anything already. And you could say there's somebody doing something already, and that's fine. That's just as equally this.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no escape.
I call it a shit show.
I mean, on one level, it just sounds like it's the non-duality. I'm just making a blanket statement. Is a belief that it itself is a belief, and everybody and lots of people keep referring to that belief, sort of saying that it's not a belief, it's just what is. I don't. Okay.
Yeah, there's nobody to believe, you know. There's nobody saying anything here. There's nobody asking a
Yeah.
question or giving an answer. There's just
Right.
simply this.
See, even that I hear it, but it's like, well, there's no quote proof for that. Not that there would be, but you can say that, or it was said, but so it's just being said. Is that what you're saying? Maybe it's just being said. What came out of the mouth, apparent your apparent mouth, whatever, was just said by. It was just said.
Yeah, nobody's saying it. Nobody's even listening to what is being spoken. That's just what's happening. Talking,
Okay.
sound, birds flying, birds chirping, cars hooting. You know, this is more like birds chirping. Chip, 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 chip. Does that mean anything?
Well, okay. I'm not going to get anywhere, I think, with this. I was just thinking the bird chirping, that may mean something to another bird. It may be a communication to another bird. So it's not nothing. I'm not going to get anywhere, am I here?
There's nobody to get anywhere. It's just
Okay.
this. Yeah. And this doesn't mind. So are there any last questions or sharing before we close?
It's funny, I know that I've seen Don in that space where he really sees everything you're saying in Nkosi. And I have also been in that place. But when we're not in that place, we have all kinds of questions about it. But that place has been present in our lives. I think why wouldn't it? It is who we really are. So even if it does seem to appear at times, it just appears as we tend to fall away, maybe for those few moments or longer. But anyway, I just need to be reminded of that sometimes when I'm really wrapped up in something.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Well, there's already nobody experiencing anything, and there's already nobody going back and forth or forgetting.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Amar.
Beautiful. Thank you, Nkosi. Thank you, Don. It was nice seeing you. I always love to
Thank
see
you.
Don.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for
I love
sharing.
seeing all of you. Oh, sorry, Nkosi.
Oh,
I was
okay,
just thanking.
go ahead.
I was just thanking everybody too. This is it makes no difference whether I believe this or not believe this, or it none of that makes any difference. There's just something magical about being here with this group, whatever is being spoken about. And so I go on record of I do not believe this, and there's something very magical going on here. So thank you all. Thank you. Yeah, that's all. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for sharing. Good night and good morning.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.